Hey guys, Sean here. A few hours ago, I went to see the new James Bond movie, Spectre. So I thought do like an overall series review on the Daniel Craig Bond movies. Some of these I will be doing just off the top of my head from memory because it's been 3 months since I've seen the last three movies. Well, with the exception of Casino Royale, which I watched last night in preparation for Spectre, because I had originally planned to watch all three of them, but I didn't have the time before going to see the movie. I should really plan my stuff out better. But I saw Casino Royale last night. Quantum Solace and Skyfall I'm going to have to do from memory, and then I can do Spectre, meaning I recently just seen it. So I'm going to start with Casino Royale in this video, maybe in two parts, depending on how long this video runs. This may end up being in two parts. So anyway, I'm going to start with Casino Royale, because it is essentially the first film in this new timeline, as you said. So see, it says that it is the 21st Bond film in the Ion Productions and the first to star Daniel Craig as James Bond. The film was directed by Martin Campbell and written by Neil Purvis and Robert Wade and Paul Haggis, I think. It marks the third adaptation of Neil Fleming's 1953 novel of the same name. It says that Casino Royale is set at the beginning of Bond's career as Agent 007, just as he is earning his license to kill. After preventing a terrorist attack at Miami International Airport, he falls in love with Vesper Lynn, the Treasury and blah 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 blah, and the Treasury and plot designed to provide the money he needs to bankrupt a terrorist financer, Le Chiffre, by beating him in a high-stakes poker game. So what do I think of this movie? I think it's a very good movie. It's a great start to this new series that consists of four movies: Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. I like the actors in this movie. Daniel Craig, I think is a great Bond. These are the Craig movies are the only ones I've seen, so I can't really compare him to the likes of Connery, Brosnan, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, the other people who played Bond, because I've only seen the Craig movies, and so I think Daniel Craig is a great Bond. So they have also brought back Judi Dench as M from the Pierce Brosnan movies, which I kind of find that weird. Is if you're trying to reboot a series, why would you reuse an actor from an old franchise or an old branch of the series? That's just something I didn't understand. You know what I mean? Going in, but I think the movie's very well done. The action scenes are really good. The acting is great across the board, especially with Daniel Craig and Judi Dench. And I've always kind of seen the relationship between Bond and M as kind of a mother-son relationship, kind of sort of, which I think is really kind of cool. The runtime for this movie is about 144 minutes, so about 2 hours 24 minutes. I guess that's all I can say about this one. I do really like it. I think it's a really cool movie. So now I shall do Quantum of Solace. Let's see. Quantum of Solace is it's released in 2008. It's the 22nd Bond film produced by Ion Productions and is a direct sequel to the 2006 Casino Royale, directed by Mark Foster. It features Daniel Craig's second performance as Bond. In the film, Bond seeks revenge for the death of his lover, Vesper Lynn, and is assisted by Camille Monteith, played by Olga Kurylenko. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. Who is plotting revenge for the murder of her family. The trail eventually leads them to wealthy businessman Dominic Green, Matthew Almeric. Again, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name too. I butcher a lot of names in my reviews, so you guys know that. It says he's a member of a quantum organization that was basically set up in the last movie, and says he intends to stage a cope bit I can't remember pronounce that word, in Bolivia to seize control of that country's water supply. So, let's see. It says producer Michael Wilson developed the plot while Casino Royale was being shot. And it says the writers of the Casino Royale script had contributed to the script, as well as Daniel Craig and director Mark Foster had to write some sections themselves due to the writer's strike, though they were not given the screenwriter credit in the final cut, which I do believe is kind of sad if you think about it, that they wrote sections yet they weren't given credit for it. The title was chosen from a 1959 short story in Ian Fleming's For Your Eyes Only, though the film does not contain any elements of the original story. So basically, this movie is like it said, is a direct sequel to the Casino Royale, which I thought was a really good movie. This one, not really all that good. I mean, I did like for what it was. It was a fun, entertaining movie. I will admit, but it's just not as good as the last movie. I will rank this series at the end of this video to let you guys know what I think of the series. So you got Judi Dench coming back. You got the actor who played Inspector Pazzi in the Hannibal movie, who was also in Casino Royale, and he's coming back. He came back for this one, and I think he's really good in it. Let's see, Casino Royale ended with basically essentially on a cliffhanger, where Bond was capturing this character named Mr. White, who was a member of this quantum organization. And in this movie, it begins with the interrogation of Mr. White, where he gives them this information on quantum and such, and it sends Bond on this mission. There's a point in this movie. There's a point in this movie where M is deciding whether to pull Bond from this mission because she is worried that he's doing this only for personal revenge, not for the sake of the mission, which kind of puts M in a difficult place because such and such. So yeah, I did like this movie. It's not as good as the last one, but it's okay nonetheless. And so I will do the next two movies, Skyfall and Spectre. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. You got Skyfall. Now, let's see. Skyfall is the 23rd movie in the Bond films franchise, produced by Ion Productions. It features Daniel Craig in his third performance as Bond, and Javier Bardem as Raul Silva, the film's villain. It was directed by Sam Mendes and written by pretty much the same people who wrote the last two movies. Well, John Logan was switched in there. It says it was written by Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and John Logan, and features an Academy Award-winning theme sung by Adele. It was distributed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Columbia Pictures. Basically, the story centers on Bond investigating an attack on MI6. The attack is a part of a plot by former MI6 agent Raul Silva to humiliate, discredit, and kill M as revenge against her for betraying him. The film sees the return of two recurring characters to the series after absence of the first two movies. Q, played by Ben Whishaw, and Eve Moneypenny, played by Naomi Harris. Skyfall is the last film of the series for Judi Dench, who played M in a role that she played in the previous 6 films. The position is subsequently filled by Ray Fiennes' character, Gareth Mallory. So basically, this movie is basically the relationship between Bond and M is put under test because this agent from this terrorist from M's past is coming after to kill her, and such and such. Basically, the end of the movie, we learn a little bit of Bond's past in this film. which I thought was really cool that we get to learn about his past. And this movie basically focuses on an older, more less focused, more broken down Bond. He's not the whole suave, debonair, heavily polished, and perfect shot Bond. He's more like a worn out kind of character, which I thought was really interesting way to take the character to show him in a different light. And I really liked Javier Bardem as the villain in this movie. I thought he was really good. It really reminded me. He kind of reminds me of Heath Ledger as the Joker from The Dark Knight, which I thought was really cool. And a lot of people had compared him to Ledger's Joker and to begin with. So yeah, I think this is the. You know what? I'm going to compare. I'll do the ranking at the end, like I said. But yeah, I think this is very well done. Better than the first two movies. So I really enjoyed the series, this film. Now we go on to the new one, Spectre. So, Spectre is the 24th Bond movie in the Ion Productions film series of Bond. It features Daniel Craig in his fourth and probably final movie, as rumors that I've been hearing, this may be Craig's last movie, even though he has signed on for Bond 25, but who knows yet. And it says Christoph Waltz as Ernest Stavro Blofeld, with the film marking the character's reintroduction into the series. It was once again directed by Sam Mendes as his second Bond film following Skyfall. It written by John Logan, Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and Jez Butterworth. I think that's right, that's it. The story features James Bond's first introduction with the global crime organization Spectre, marking the group's first appearance in an Ion film since 1971's Diamonds Are Forever, and tying Craig's series of films together with an overarching storyline. Several recurring Bond characters, including M, Q, and Moneypenny, return, with new additions of Leah Sidivokes, like I said, I butchered names, as Dr. Madeline Swan, Dave Bautista, WWE superstar, as Mr. Hanks, whatever, and an actress named Monica Bellucci, whatever, as Lisua Sikara, whatever. What do I think of this movie? I think it's a very entertaining movie. I thought it was really well done. Even though Judi Dench was killed off in the last movie, she does make some kind of a cameo in this movie, which I thought was cool. Because Ray Fiennes, who took over the role of M, did say in an interview that she still haunts this movie, which I thought was funny. This movie is kind of like Quantum of Solace, where this is a direct sequel to Skyfall. Because Bond is still basically dealing with the effects of the events of that movie, and events of M's death, and he's given a message from M, sending him on this mission to basically discover sending him on a mission to find this guy named Franz Ubenhauser, and he learns that he's a member of this organization called Spectre, and apparently Spectre is kind of and we kind of learned that the organization Quantum is kind of a subsection of Spectre, and that Obenhauser, I think his real name, or his new name, that is Blofeld, kind of a weird name if you think about it, has been he says in the trailer, the author of Bond's Pain. So, and we also learn about how, we learn that Lashif, Mr. White, Dominic Green, and strangely enough, Silva were all members of Spectre. Which, if you actually stop to think about it, it kind of makes you rethink and kind of see the last three movies in a whole new light. especially the last one, because I always thought that Silva was going after M because he had a personal vendetta against her. But apparently it turned out to be something different, I guess. Who knew? But yeah, I do like this movie. I think it's very well done. They do mention Vesper a lot in this movie, and I kind of thought it was interesting how the opening credits of this movie does like a Spider-Man thing where it shows, images from the last 2 movies, which I kind of thought was interesting. I was like, hey, they're ripping from Spider-Man. Speaking of rip, there's a subplot in this movie where an organization, a different organization, is trying to shut down the 007 program, the 00 program. Which when I heard that, I was like, are we really borrowing from Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, where they were trying to shut down the IMF? Why? But who knows? But yeah, I do really like this movie. I think it is really well done. I would see it again, and I think if this really is Craig's last movie, I think they do make a good job making it as a good movie. Because this one basically ties up all the loose ends, and it comes full circle. And we do kind of learn more about Bond's past, and in the end of the movie, he does kind of settle down with Madeline Swan, who is actually Mr. White's daughter, and Mr. White does come back into this movie for, I guess, a cameo or something. I guess you could call it a cameo. But yeah, I do like this movie. I think it's very well done. Some great action. The opening scene was awesome. But now I'm going to rank this series from probably worst to best. Or actually, no, best to worst would probably be a better one. So the best movie is Skyfall. Second best is Casino Royale. Third best is Spectre. And then the worst is Quantum of Solace. So that is my James Bond series review as far as the Daniel Craig movies. Maybe someday I will watch the old ones, but who knows. So I will catch you guys later.